Hey everybody, it's zjayfi here from the OSG clan. I just wanted to do a quick video on some Gear 2.0 builds. I know some of these new builds can be, even though the building system has been simplified, some of these new builds can be a little bit on the tricky side. So I just want to show everybody what I'm running, what we're running in the raid, what I'm running for solo, what I'm running for PvP, various things like that. So I'm going to go through these really quick. You're going to notice that a lot of these have something in common, which is this is by far one of the most powerful weapons in the game right now. There's a handful of other ones that can sit right next to it, but at the moment this is my favorite weapon, so you're probably going to see this in a lot of them. But let's just go right through it. As always, there's three ways to reach me: zjayfi on YouTube, zjayfi on PlayStation Network, and Zachary Finnefrock on Facebook. You can always reach me through the OSG Facebook page. And let's take a look at some of these builds. The first one is a hardwired build. This one I tweak several different ways depending on what it is that we're running. Right now I've got the exotic backpack in there to overcharge. I can overcharge two ways, either by chucking a grenade at something immobile, like say one of those little mini tanks that doesn't move around a whole lot, or if I need a quick recharge, there's always the grenade launcher. Can overcharge, and that'll bring my Stinger Hive and my Seekers back immediately if I need them. Otherwise, plan B is every 20 seconds with feedback loop, you can break down one skill to get the other one back, or deploy a skill to get the other one back. You can only do that every 20 seconds. But then, plan C, I've always got a third way. Skilled will give me my Seekers back if they kill somebody. And when you're playing solo, there's a whole bunch of red bars, especially if you're playing in smaller groups, groups of two. You can absolutely count on that to get you them back, usually, most of the time. If not, you break down your hive. And if that doesn't work, you can always pull out the big gun, literally, and overcharge the shit out of it. The ins and outs of it, I've already showed you this. The Baker's dozen. I'm not sure what. I think this SMG is just in there because the rolls are great, and I didn't really have anything else to put in there. I don't think I have a whole lot of crit chance damage for it. Yeah, there's not much. I use this in every single build. The backup boomstick. I'm only going to show you guys once, probably. This thing's total boss. It needs to be recalibrated. I just realized I haven't improved it at all. Well, I'll go do that as soon as I'm done with this video. Max out damage to armor or something, or maybe, put something else over that reload speed. Not sure. I never ever use this thing anyway. Very rarely is the day. Obviously, in a damage hardwired, you're gonna want status effects. I think I have for the hive, but in a damage hardwired, you're gonna want skill damage throughout. Got skill damage on all my pieces there. And skill haste also, just so if God forbid you do have to wait for these things to come back, it's no more than 30 seconds. These fill up real quick, 2.8 seconds. And the mods are, I'm running skill haste mods, I believe, in everything. I'm not sure what the mod is in here. Yep, skill haste mods and everything. So that's that build. I love how quickly I can show them now. Oh, the mods for these, 4.5 damage, 7.8 health, plus 4 stinger charges. Pretty simple. Tier 6 stuff is pretty powerful even as it is, but if you overcharge it, you can see right there, I mean, it really just sends it through the roof. It's just incredible how much you could do when you get that overcharge. It's just nuts. 80% damage, another 8 cluster mines, and you get 100% radius for every mine. Unbelievable. Super powerful if you overcharge it. So that's hardwired skill build. I run that sometimes. DPS anti-drone. I put this together for the raid. The primary purpose behind this is for Razorback. We are going to be running the Jammer Pulse skill. Now we only have skill tier 2 as you can see, but that will be more than enough to go ahead and take care of all the drones at Razorback. Skill tier 1 is actually more than enough to take care of them. Skill tier 0 is not. You cannot take out the drones with no skill tiers. But the 10% radius, 10% effect duration for some reason is enough. I went with 20 plus just to get skill haste, and there's several other things. I got the Sokolov skilled backpack in there. That's to get it back right away. When I zap those drones, I'll instantly get it back. This one is 2-piece Sokolov, the exotic mask. The piece of Overlord with Companion. Gives me some extra weapon damage when I have the Fixer drone deployed. This is for the critical hit damage, and the Seska is for the critical hit chance. Now you can see I overwrote, it originally had weapon damage, I overwrote skill tier onto it. That's so I can have the second tier skill. This technician special rocket launcher will give you another skill tier for free as well. That's why I have 2 skill tiers for the price of 1 in my build. The stats, you can see, is 55% crit chance, 143% crit damage, and then with the pestilence, 45 and 132. I'm still building that up on the watch, but we have 100% weapon damage for each piece. So this build hits plenty hard. It would hit a little bit harder, obviously, if we had weapon damage here, but I can live with it to have my permanent jammer pulse on. Next up, Crit Tac. This is the same build as the previous one. The only difference is it's completely min-max for critical hit damage. This is a true DPS build. Got the 2 pieces Sokolov again, except this time we have Spotter on the chest. Still have the exotic mask. Sokolov holster. I think we have the same exact... Ooh, this should be Fixer drone. Perfect. Okay, this is Fixer drone or Prop Companion. We have the same piece here. Oh, here's some Seskas that haven't been ridden over with skill. We have the Reviver Hive. This Infantry MG5 is not the best one that I have, but it has the max damage to armor and it has fast hands. You'll note in this one I don't have a piece of Petrov. My primary offense is this Baker's Dozen, which just hits super hard, especially if you crit. I mean, stupid hard. And if you look at the stats, you'll see that I have 49.8% crit damage. Once I max out the watch, that'll be up around 55, and 166.7 critical hit damage. I actually have 54 and 155 on the LMG. And even on the specialty weapon, I can crit for 155.7. So this is my absolute hardest hitting build, with the exception of one other one. But we have Spotter on there. One advantage with this, with running Technician, is you also get the linked laser pointer. This will pulse anything that you aim at, and that'll proc Spotter. So I get 15% damage there, 15% damage there. We have all that crit and critical hit damage, and we have well over, we have 124.7% weapon damage. So nothing wrong with the damage in this build. I'm still working on trying to figure out how to make it hit harder. I'll eventually figure it out. Raid 2.0, this is my Negotiator's Dilemma build with the Contractor's Gloves and the Fox Prayer knee pads. And we've got 4-piece Negotiator in there. This is a build that originally I thought was going to be the best possible thing for the raid. As we've gotten further into it, we're finding out that that's not the case. But there's nothing wrong with this build at all. It hits pretty hard, especially once you... I only have 99.8% crit damage at the moment. But when you have 4 pieces Negotiator, you will get the marked enemy stack, and every time they die, you'll get up to 40% additional critical hit damage until combat ends, which can stack you up to 140%. And with the backpack, you can get additional marks, and you get additional critical hit damage to other marked targets with the chest piece. This build does hit pretty hard. The only thing is you got to wait for it to build up. The more I play with it, the more I realize that that Negotiator's build doesn't have a whole lot of advantages over something like this, other than it's stacking with other players, which I'm not still 100% that it does that. You will die. This is a LMG and Baker's Dozen build. It's the same LMG with fast hands. It's the same Baker's Dozen with 518k weapon damage. This time we have 3 pieces of Providence with the perfect glass cannon and composure. We have the Seska holster this time, and the damage to target out of cover knee pads, and the damage to armor on that. We have a fixer drone to heal up, reviver hive. I don't think this build has quite as much crit hit and damage. No, it has closer to 60%, but it only has 115 and 126 respectively for the weapons. But you do have 30% additional damage, and that's multiplicative, perfect glass cannon. So between that and the 15% additional multiplicative damage here, multiplicative damage here, multiplicative damage here, I got multiplicative damage on the weapon here. It really hits hard, but when you get shot, you will know. I mean, one shot from one enemy, and you have to cover down and heal up. If you get hit twice, it's all over for you, and here comes the hive, and you better hope you got a good medic on your crew. You can only run this build with a medic, in my experience. The anti-drone build. This is a different version of that other build. This is a hardwired version of this. I did not find it nearly as successful because you just don't have enough weapon damage. Okay, yeah, you got a little bit of weapon damage, and you've got Petrov, you've got composure, you've got a little bit of weapon damage, but it just doesn't hit hard enough. But this will give you your skills back instantly between skilled and the jammer pulse. You'll be able to do it, but this build was ultimately unsuccessful in the raid. Not running it anymore. I'm now doing DPS anti-drone. Was far superior. LMG. This is a safer version of the glass cannon build. It's just got spark in it, and it's got a turret to proc the spark with composure. I think it's the same exact pieces almost. It's just different. Yeah, same stats, I should say. Same stats, same weapons. Just has spark instead of perfect glass cannon. So it's just a more survivable version of that glass cannon build. I run that sometimes, occasionally if I'm playing solo. But lately, this has been my go-to. It just hits so hard. It's stupid, and it's very survivable. Healer build. Here's something we can actually talk about. Everybody in the clan should really have one of these, because you never know when you're going to need to run this for a crew. If everybody had one, then everybody could run a different role depending on what we need. So I like the crossbow for the healer build because it has 15% extra outgoing healing, meaning you'll be able to heal up your buddies faster. I like this just in case I do have to shoot. I'll never run out of ammo, and you guys know how I feel about the Baker's Dozen. I love fire grenades. I love fire grenades so much. I can chuck one at somebody that'll instantly send the overcharge on my backpack, and I'll get this back instantly, and we'll get the healer hive back instantly also. So, and we've got hardwired as the backup for that. So every 20 seconds I can either empty all my ammo of this one, or I can just break this down and we'll flip-flop. This is a great healer build. In healer, instead of skill damage, you're running repair skills on everything. Repair skill, mods, repair skills, more repair skills. I have the skill health, motherly love, Alp Summit gloves in there. Also gives you 15% repair skills, and the exotic to go bag. There are other options that you can use. You can make this build with 3 pieces. I believe it's either Araldi or Alps. Yeah, 3-piece Alps with 2-piece Murakami, and then you can pop in, I don't remember which holster it is. It's not the Forge. I think there's some other holster you can use. Oh, that's for incoming repairs. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of, that one. So, yeah. Anyway, there is another way to make this build. I chose the hardwired one. It just makes it so much easier to get my skills back when I need them on demand, especially with the overcharge. And the way to overcharge in this particular build, you just chuck this fire grenade out there, and boom. Everybody's overcharged. Your skills are back. You don't need to hit hard in a medic build, because as long as you just run around healing people, the enemies won't even consider you a threat. They will just avoid you. Alright, system corruption build. This is for PvP, for the Dark Zone. You'll never guess what weapons I'm running. It's the same exact fast hands LMG. It's the Baker's Dozen. And yep, we're still running with the backup boomstick. I have 4 pieces system corruption in here, so I have a little bit of extra armor. Not that it's going to make a huge difference in the DZ. It won't. But I also have a healing restorer hive. So if I'm in the middle of a fight, I throw that on the ground. I deploy my striker drone. That will give me a little bit of extra DPS toward them. So I'm healing this way. And then I also have the multi-threaded execution for Hapstick protocol. So I get 100% bonus armor for 5 seconds instantaneously when I just push the right button. So if I'm PvPing somebody, the instant it engages, I drop my Stinger Hive, I throw out my not my Stinger Hive, my Healer Hive. I drop my Healer Hive on the floor below me. I throw my Striker drone at them. I quick heal myself up, or give myself the bonus armor with the system corruption. So now I have 2 million armor plus, you know, all the heal that I have incoming. And now with perfect glass cannon, I can probably shred them relatively quick, especially since time to kill in the Dark Zone is so low right now. I've got 44.7% crit chance and 46% crit damage, and I've also got 39 and 56. Not optimal, but keep in mind this is a half armored build. It's a little bit of a hybrid for survivability in the DZ. I've also got damage to armor, so that's going to make a big difference when I start laying into them with this. They will go down quick if everything goes right for me. Now, if I have to run after them and chase them, and it's a long-term engagement, they will probably have the advantage, because it will be 10 more seconds before I can re-up my armor to 10 million again after that. So you have to put them down quick with this one. Finally, just a couple more builds. I didn't really talk about headshot. We've got 2 pieces of Raldi for marksman and headshot. We've got 3 pieces Grupo Sombra for crit damage and headshot, and then I think we have 1 piece of Providence for headshot damage. In this build, I'm running 2 marksman rifles. One's a surplus SVD and one's the White Death. And I believe they both have just disturbing amounts of headshot damage. Yeah, this one's got 236.9. This one has 275.9. And there is additional headshot bonuses throughout on the weapon attachments. I think they both have headshot damage scopes. This one has they both have the 30% scope. There's actually a 40% scope you can put on. I didn't care for it, but then all the pieces should have max or near max headshot damage. This one is the only one that does not. It's for composure, and I have spotter with the actually this needs to be changed up a little bit. I never run this build, but I should be changing this to include technician, and then I could use the linked laser pointer rather than this. But I've never even run that build in combat. I've never tried it. We could try it in the raid, shoot Boomer in the head, see what happens. I don't know, but I'm waiting for the Nemesis to finish this one off. I'll have a Nemesis tomorrow, so we'll see what we can do once I get the Nemesis. Finally, we have 2 versions of tank. I've got the super tanker and I've got the shielded tank. The super tanker runs the flamethrower shield. We've got the Sweet Dreams in there. Melee attacks instantly kill non-elite enemies, so anybody that's not a gold bar you can melee instantly. We've got the MP5A2. This is not a DPS build, so it's going to take a lot of bullets to put somebody down, but you can melee them with the shield and kill somebody instantly as long as they're not a gold bar, which is very helpful to your team. But this shield is really tough, really hard to destroy, and I have a whole bunch of armor on top of it. Plus with perfect Vanguard, so every time I pop my chest out, everybody gets 50% of my armor as bonus armor. So that's 750,000 bonus armor for the whole crew. I can give them every 20 seconds, just by taking my shield off and putting it back out. Got the forge holster, got skill haste, perfectly wicked, I believe that's what this is for. Throw this out on somebody, affect them with bleed, get yourself 18% extra weapon damage for 27 seconds. Got skill haste gloves, it's all armor and armor regen. And of course, anybody who stands behind me will also be getting a buff from this particular shield. It doesn't say how much, it just says based upon the amount of enemies in front of the shield. So basically, I need to position myself between the enemies and my team. Everyone who stands behind me gets a buff. Every time I take my shield in and out, everyone gets a buff. And anyone who's foolish enough to charge at me is getting meleeed and one hit killed. And finally, the shielded tank. This shield actually is indestructible. Basically, I will tell you what the Achilles heel is for this particular build. But I've got the chatterbox. You guys know I love that baker's dozen. And the backup boomstick. Then we have a piece of China Light. This should actually be a piece of Alps. I don't have one yet. We've got the exotic chest piece. We've got the forage holster again. We have the skill health motherly love gloves. And we have 2 pieces of hardwired for skill haste. Both of these have skill haste on them, I believe. So even if this shield breaks, the cooldown on it is 10.8 seconds. That's disturbingly short. Like I could, as you can see, this shield is not going to break. The health on it is 10 million. This shield is almost unbreakable. And with the Artificer Hive, it doesn't say exactly how long it is. Oh, skill refresh, 13 seconds. So every 13 seconds, I get a 100% heal of this shield. So unless they can do 10 million damage to me in 13 seconds, which is possible, I've had it happen. It's pretty rare, but it has happened. I think Lucy did it to me one time. One time Lucy did it to me. I'm gonna have this all healed up. So even if it gets down to just 1 health point in 13 seconds, this is going to be completely healed. And in the meantime, I've got additional shield health, and I have active regeneration, additional shield health, and holstered regeneration. So it's getting stronger every single second that I have it deployed. So that's pretty much it. I hope you guys get some good ideas from these builds. Maybe you can tell me how I can improve them, how they could be better. I would just like to remind everybody that it always helps. It always helps to use things that mesh well with the specialization that you're running. As you can see, I have different specializations, and I'm using the specialization's grenades. I'm using the specialization's skills, like the Artificer Hive, that's only available with the Technician. I'm using the fire grenades. So that's something that's very important in this new meta, this Gear 2.0. It seems like they want us to use the stuff that we were ignoring before and to try and create synergies across things. Another interesting thing is that the specializations seem to have less interaction with your builds now. It seems like a Technician can run just as well with a sniper build as it can with a TAC 50, or a grenade launcher can run just as well with a skill build as it would with, or an LMG can run without gunner. There's all kinds of ways that the specializations don't interact with the builds so much anymore as far as weapons go or loadouts go. But the things that are becoming more and more valuable are the little perks that come with the specialization, like the special grenades, the special skills, the special modifications, that sort of thing. So that's something to keep in mind as you go about building. Remember, you can always reach me, zjayfi, on PlayStation Network, zjayfi on YouTube, and Zachary Finnefrock on the OSG Facebook page. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Have a great day.